Welcome to the boat shop, where you can see our shipwrights assembling frames for the new Maryland Dove. If you haven't already, watch our 360 lofting video to see how we design the patterns used to cut out these frames. The shape of the frame differs from station to station and determines the shape of the hull. Here, the crew is working on a mid-frame that now sits on the center of the ship. The frames that our shipwrights are working on below are like a ship's rib cage. They extend athwart ships or perpendicular to the keel, giving the ship its overall shape. This frame is made up from between 5 and 12 futtocks. Futtocks make up 1/2 of a frame's total width and are staggered with roughly 4 feet overlap to make up a double-sawn frame. Each completed frame is actually 2 side-by-side sets of futtocks fastened together to create the thickness needed. We've now moved outside to what we call the horning stage. Frames are put together inside the boat shop and moved out here for their final fitting. In this shot, you see 2 half frames are stacked together on top of each other. You'll see the notches have been cut at the base of each one to fit into the ship's backbone. The last part of the frame assembly is done outside. This includes painting the joint surfaces and attaching each to a crossbar to prepare it to be hoisted in place. Before lifting the frame, straps are secured on each side of the crossbar, which is acting as a compression spreader, and then lifted. Once the frame is plumb and in place, it is temporarily secured to the frame ahead of it with a series of bracing blocks. From here, shipwrights start working on securing each frame to the keel, or the backbone of the ship. Full frames are attached to the keel directly, while half frames like this one are connected with a floor timber. Each full frame is sandwiched between the keel below and the keelson above, allowing the futtocks to run uninterrupted across the backbone. The half frames exist in the far ends of the hull, where the backbone interferes with the frame passing to the other side. In order to connect the 2 sides, a floor timber notches over the backbone and is bolted to the lower heels of the frame. Now you'll see a member of our team drilling into the backbone to hold the frame in place on the keel. Half frames are bolted to the floor timber, which is then pinned to the keel. While we're here, take some time to pan around and explore the inside of the new Maryland Dove and all of its frames. Once finished, our shipwrights will have built and installed 29 frames in total. You're now watching the installation of Maryland Dove's stern post and transom in the far back of the ship. The stern post is comprised of 2 large vertical timbers at the aft end of the keel that hold the transom, the ship's aftermost frame, and the rudder. We've now moved to the front of the ship, where with the tent now in place, a crane can no longer be used to install the frames. In true 17th century fashion, the crew will raise the largest frames by hand. 3 of our frames were raised this way, and it is indicative of how ships were built with manpower. Thank you for joining us on this recap of the framing stage of our build. Make sure you stop by our shipyard to see our progress on the new Maryland Dove in person. With framing completed, our shipwrights will move on to covering them with planks both inside and out. Thanks again for visiting.